Okay, here's a breeding update. This is Thames and Loren, and I have 4 infertile eggs from them. But it ain't over yet. This is Amenadiel and Shakti, and their 3 babies are way ahead of everybody else, so they are the cutest little things. Let me see. This little guy, let me see. This little guy is the oldest one. He actually went through a phase where his thighs were spindling out and he had little curly feet. So I hit him with a calcium boost and he's fine. Number 2 has white down instead of gray, which probably means opaline, and I'm seeing a yellow face in there. And number 3, I just a little bit of it, and he definitely has gray down, and he's just little. Okay, cute little babies and fat little food. This was Callahan and Rain, and they went out because their eggs were all blank. This is Quinn and Aster, and they had 4 embryos, but 2 of them have fizzled. They have 2 more that look like they're going to hatch any minute. So hopefully we will get some babies out of them, but so far it's not looking great. This is Danube and his girl Glory, and they hatched out Amenadiel and Shakti's 2 youngest chicks, and they also had embryos failing right and left, but they did pull out. The littlest one is their own chick, and they have 1 more egg in there that's also fertile. So fingers crossed we'll get 2 out of them. Of course, the youngest one will have to go somewhere else because I only need 3 in a nest. This is Dolorite and Baby, and blank eggs, blank eggs, blank eggs, and then all of a sudden yesterday I found a fertile one. So I'm hoping I will get at least 1, maybe 2 more, 2 fertile eggs out of them, and after all, that would be lovely. This is Colorado and some female. She also did a whole bunch of blank eggs, blank eggs, blank eggs. Yesterday I looked and there was a fertile one. However, her nest was cold. She was not sitting on it. So I pulled it and stuck it under somebody else to make sure it would stay, and it is developing. But now she's back in her nest. I think she had a hard time laying an egg or something. So I'm getting her a little electrolytes and, you know, some treats and stuff, and hopefully she'll feel better. But she's pretty much done laying because she has 6 eggs in there. I'm hoping 1 more of them will show some development, because when I get 2 chicks out of a pair, that's just fine with me because I pull them down to 3 anyway. So this is Spring. I put steel back. I'm keeping her in here because I'm treating her for her eye. And I put steel back out because she's acting like she wants a nest box, so I think he's breeding her. And I don't want her to do that. I just want to be able to treat her eye for another week or so, and then I'll put her out. This is Fontaine, who was with Colorado, and she is now sitting on 5 fertile eggs, OMG, with no cock. So obviously I'm going to have to foster off the last 3, but I have plans. This is Larkspur and Dacite. No, Unakite. Larkspur and Unakite, and she has 3 fertile eggs in there, one of which is about to hatch any minute. The chick has broken through the air sac. I saw it when I candled it. And her other 4 are down here. You know, there's always a possibility that one won't hatch and they'll end up with 3 and 3, but if it does, I'll find a place for it. And this is Dacite and Wraith, and she, very prolific, has 4 embryos in there. No, I just threw one out because it was it had failed. But yeah, 3 embryos in there, and 3 more over here. That's my little foster girl that sits out in front of her nest all day long but doesn't go in it, which is not helping. And then Sif down here keeps laying eggs. I pulled her because her cock was breeding her and she was laying eggs in the flight, and she's laid 4 more eggs, all of which are in here. The first one she laid was not fertile. 2 more are, and I put another one in there today, so we'll see if that one develops. And up here we have silliness. This girl decided she did not like the next box, so she's nesting in front of it. And she has 4 fertile eggs under her, which she is sitting on very happily, just tucked into a corner over there. I don't know if you can see her. She's just kind of tucked into a corner over there behind that, right in front of the nest box, but not inside of it. She started to do this last time, but then moved into the nest box at the last minute, but this time, nope. She's laying all her eggs out there, and she's sitting them out there. So what I did was I put a piece of paper underneath the hay, between the hay and the bars, so that her eggs wouldn't filter down through the hay and end up sitting on the bars and cracking. And then I thought about it for a day and thought, that's too cold, so I put a little square of flannel blanket on top of the paper to help hold in heat. And then put the hay back on top of it and the eggs back on top of the hay, and she is just going gangbusters. So fine. She had 3 out of 4 fertile, but the 4th one will become fertile, I'm sure. But because these girls have so few eggs over here, I'll be able to foster a couple of them, and I may have to freeze 1 or 2 depending on how things go. So she's going to end up fostering to these over here. I'm really hoping that Fontaine's last 3 babies are going to go to my little yellow-faced foster over here, but she needs to get in that box and lay an egg. Last year, I fostered her live chicks when she had only been sitting in the box on a couple of eggs for a week, and she raised them just fine, so that's fine with me. So yeah, every little bit, we'll see. Okay, so that's the update. We have 2 nests full of live babies and a whole bunch more coming.